we've got to look at these follow-up systems and make sure. So that's your activity getting off this podcast, is to really think about, what is my flow? What is my follow-up system? What types of follow-up? And then go through in your mind all the clients you've seen recently, not all your clients ad nauseum forever, but the ones that pop to mind, the ones that leap into your head, and go, what would be better for them? Would it actually be better if I gave them a phone call every week? Would they be better off having weekly actual Zoom appointments with me? Would they be better? Because sometimes we can speak to people for very little time. We can have cumulative cost at the end of it, or we can have small costs going on. Think outside the square. How is it going to suit your client? What variation can you have to the theme that means that you get your clients in more often? And those ones who are neurodiverse often need to be seen on a more regular basis. And that's where we can do the one billing system. I'm billing you for the month of September today. I'm going to ring you once a week. We're going to have a quick chat. We're going to see how you're going. We're going to see what changes need to be made. These chats are going to be no more than 15 minutes. And then our appointment is at the beginning of October. Let's book that appointment now, and let's book these phone calls now so that I know to ring you. Easy, right? We've got that system in place. We've got that follow-up for our client in place, because that client with their problems needs a weekly check-in. Remember, yes, you're a naturopath, you're a nutritionist, you're whatever it is you do, but you're a coach first and foremost, because we are coaching for change with our clients.
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes, because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? So I was just looking through what I said last week, and I did say that the last review that I had was 2002. No, it was not. It was 2022. For goodness sake, I wasn't doing a podcast in 2002. What am I like? But the simple fact remains, please go down and give me a review. And I apologize for the mistake. So what are we going to talk about today? Well, at the end of last time's, I did talk. You were there. But hopefully you were there. We did talk about our systems. And so I thought, well, let's nut down a little bit more into systems again and follow up systems that work and don't take us hours, because it's really important that we're following up our clients. And the reason I'm touching on this is I was talking to Katie, my mentee, and got a client. She said the person's plateaued. They're doing really well, but, she's not sure where to go next. And I think we have to look outside the square a little bit, right? So what we've always been doing is this: I have to see you for 1 hour, then you'll follow up to half an hour, or I have to see you like this and then do this. No, take a deep breath. And how can we think outside the square? So when you've got someone who's trying to lose weight, for example, or someone who isn't very good at taking supplements, or someone who maybe has ADHD, or they're just really busy, they have a super scattered lifestyle, they've got, everything's happening, they're just running around doing all the things, super stressed. Okay, so we've got this, and you've all met at least one of those people, right, if not more. So how can we help them? Well, it means that we need to look outside the square of the regular appointment. Yes, they get that first appointment. That's when we discover that things are just all over the place, or as in the case of Katie's client, they've been really good. They're trying their best, but they're super stressed. They're really busy, and they're struggling to keep the momentum going, and they've currently plateaued, which of course makes it even harder. That's when we shake it up. That's when we change the appointment system for that person. So we've got to think about our types of follow-up. All right. So traditionally, they get an appointment, 2 weeks later, they come back for their second appointment. If they say, sorry, I can't come back in 2 weeks, I can come back in 3. Second appointment, we say no, we bring it forward to a week. All right, we don't want to stretch it out. With your older person, with your Gen X and your Boomer, yes, you can go 3 weeks because they will come back. They've got something on. But with your younger individual, sort of 40 and below, no, they're going to really, even 50 and below, they're really going to struggle to come back because they're so busy. Their life is so busy that they're going to forget 3+ weeks. So we have that first appointment. We see them again a fortnight or sooner later, and then we'll see them again fortnight or sooner later after that. So we've seen them 3 times in the first sort of 5 weeks. Okay, we've really got them set up and we're really on the go. That's the way we normally should be doing it. So we get those 3 appointments in, and then we can work out where we're going from there, how much support they need. Now, you've got this client, as we said last week, we don't want to be salesy. What we want is for them to maintain change. What we want is for their ongoing and long-term health improvement. That's why we're here. Okay. So how are we going to do that? We have to think outside the square. It might be that your person needs a phone call every week. And when you add up that phone call, that 10-minute phone call that you're giving your person every week, midweek, it might be a Monday because you know they're going to have a bad weekend. It might be a Friday to encourage them for the weekend. It might be you work a Friday and a Saturday, so you're ringing them on a Saturday lunchtime, whatever your day of the week, working week is. Or mine was always a Thursday. I contacted everybody Thursday in the day, and then I did a Thursday late night. So I actually started work at 2:00. But in the morning, I'd be contacting people. So I was already working on a Thursday morning, but I wasn't seeing clients. So that was my telephone time for my weight loss clients. And I'd text and I'd ring depending on the person. And that's how I'd follow them up. So with those people, I was charging them the full appointment cost once a month because that was the time it was taking every Thursday. Once I added up all the time that I spent on them, it added up to that full hour of the first, more than an hour of the first appointment. Because once you take into account they're getting an appointment, they're turning up at the end of the month for a weigh-in, a check-in, whatever it is, that would be a half an hour appointment I'd see them for because I've spoken to them once a week in between that time. You don't have to make your appointments the way they were in college. You can choose your system. It just has to be a system. Okay? They just have to be ready for it. We talked about the client journey last week, and this is part of that journey, understanding when they're going to see you and the system that's involved. Now, when we've seen them, how long is the summary that you send them? It shouldn't really be more than an A4, and that should include a little chart that says, take this supplement, before breakfast, this one at breakfast, this one after breakfast if you're doing it, this one at dinner time, this one at bedtime, so they know when to take things. So that one page of A4 should have a little chart on it of the supplement, and I put their drugs on there as well that they're taking. So I know I never forget that they're taking perhaps a blood pressure tablet first thing in the morning. So I see it there on that chart every time I see them. When is the follow-up going to be for them, or a check-in? What is it going to be? And the ones that we don't see that often, what about seasonal reminders? See them quarterly. So I remember Jill Stannard, you may have heard of her. She was very much a mentor. I think she's still mentoring, I'm not sure. Very much the tradition. She's been around a really long time as a practitioner. Lovely, lovely lady. And she always does seasonal reminders because I was like, oh yeah, I catch up with my people every 6 months and I don't see very often. She's like, that's not enough, Geraldine. It's every 3 months. And she's right. Absolutely right. People that you're not seeing because they're well, let's put that in little inverted commas, because they're well, follow them up. Are they still well? Something else could have happened. They don't necessarily need to come and see you, but they need to remember that you exist. All right. Birthday emails, Christmas emails. I used to send Christmas cards and I would put a voucher in it. And one year I sent out 300 Christmas cards and I thought, this is costing me an absolute bomb. I have 3 or 4 people come back with the voucher. Everybody loves the Christmas card. Gosh, don't they ever? But it's just too expensive. The bottom line was too much. So a Christmas email or a Christmas text will just do just as well. So think about how we're following up with those seasonal reminders, with those 3 monthly reminders, because they can all be done in bulk. You just need to have a system in place that does it for you, preferably. Automate as much of it as you can. Email marketing tools. So Flowdesk, that's on my list on the podcast download page. So I use Flowdesk. Love it. It's so pretty. I really struggle to send email. I actually haven't sent one in ages, have I? Reminder, note to self, send an email to everybody. But I don't send that many emails. And when I do, it has to be visually appealing for me to be able to do it. So I use Flowdesk. But you've got to have that marketing system in place, that email system, and you have to have that booking system set in place. What are you using? Are you using Simple Clinic? Are you using Galaxy? Are you just using a Google Calendar? What is it you're using? So I use Acuity Scheduling. That's my scheduling app. So if you book in a focus call with me, you will be able to see what Acuity Scheduling looks like. Please go and book in that focus call. Go and see what Acuity Scheduling looks like. But that means you'll see the system, and the system can have the follow-up emails. Everything happens through that scheduling system. So templates, mate, templates are your friend. If you haven't got templates going, we need 3 to 5 reusable follow-up messages, and that they're just amazing. You can get one of the ChatGPT or whatever to help you write those. So I have, if you book in with me, which you're going to do, aren't you, with the focus call, it's just a telephone call, just going to ring you wherever you might be. And so I can ring you on the telephone, I can ring you on WhatsApp, we can have a chat. So how am I going to do this? You're going to book in on Acuity, right? So you go through the system on Acuity Scheduling and it books you in. You then get an email going, hey, thanks a lot, congratulations, looking forward to seeing you, whatever it says, can't remember. You'll have to book in to find out. And then 24 hours before our appointment, you'll get another one, and you'll get on a link, and it has a link on it to cancel or reschedule. And it also says, if you're cancelling, please tell me why. So people do tell me why. People say I have to cancel because I'm going away or whatever it is. People will email me and tell me why they're cancelling. But there's a reschedule link. And then after you've seen me, it doesn't matter who you are, everyone gets the same email 24 hours after seeing me saying, thank you so much. It was so good to see you. I do speak quickly. Is there anything you missed? Anything I need to go through again? If you've got anything, you can reply to this email. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next time. So simple. It's so easy, and it just does it. And then it's hilarious because the 24-hour reply email that comes out going, thank you very much, people will email me back and they'll go, it was so great to meet you too. And I'm like, oh, I forgot that email went out. It's so lovely to receive that email from people saying, yeah, I saw you. You didn't speak too quickly. And I learned a lot and it was great. It's so good when we see those sorts of things. Okay. So when we've got these things, do we have a VA to send them? Do we have a VA helping us set these things up? Who is sending it? Or is it just automated? So many things can be automated, right? So we need to make sure that we have action prompts sitting there. So at the top, when I've seen a client, so I'm tap, 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 tap away on their form that they will be receiving. So I get the same notes as they get. But at the very top of that, it says your next appointment is. So before they've left me, I've gone through and I've looked at all the prompts on that form so that I've filled out the form. So it's got the follow-up appointment. Those are my prompts so that I know that I've booked them in coming up. Those are my prompts so that I can see where I'm going with this client, where I've come from. When I'm seeing a client in front of me, I have, at the moment, I'm on my laptop and I've got 2 screens up, right? I've got the screen up with my notes because I've made some notes about what I'm going to talk about so I don't go off on a tangent. And then the other side is the Zoom screen, right? And there's also a little box with Fathom that takes all the recording notes for me and things like that. So I've got boxes open. Now, when I'm seeing a client, okay, my laptop has a little green light and that is where the camera is. So when I'm talking to a client, often they and myself and the Zoom screen will be behind. I will flick back to look at them so I can see their face, I can see the visuals. But at the moment, if you're watching me on YouTube, I've got a fake background going on. I'm sitting here, I've got headphones on. You can't really see a lot about me. So it would only be if I specifically said to a client and they said, oh, my nails are really bad. I've said, oh, can you hold them up to the camera, see if I can see them? And then I might go to the Zoom screen and look at them again. But I have 2 pages up. I have their last time's appointment and this time's appointment. And then everything from that last appointment, I copy and paste onto the new one. And I'll say, last time I saw you, you were I don't know, I always use the going to the toilet 5 times a day. The first time I saw you going to the toilet 20 times a day, how many times are you going now? So I've got that follow-up and I've got that flow because I've got last time's up in front of me. I've got this time. So I've got 2 windows open. There's simple things like that. When we're talking to people and we're following them up and we're going through things, we've got the knowledge. We don't have to go searching for it in front of them. If I'm searching for something, if I need something and I'm thinking, I really want to give them a vitamin A. What was that vitamin A called? The chewable one. Oh, no, you've all got it in your head already, haven't you? But you're going, what was that one? What was that one? I won't sit there saying to the client, what brand was it? What was it? I'll say, we'll give you a chewable vitamin A. It will be on your prescription, which you'll get through from Araya in X length of time. And this evening or tomorrow, depending on how many clients I've got, I will tell them when they're going to get it. You will get that email with all this information on it, and you'll get a link to Araya to purchase that chewable vitamin A. I don't need to tell them the name of it. I do need to ultimately put the name of that product on their list. Talked about the list before. It says morning, afternoon, evening, and what the product is. I won't say chewable vitamin A. I will say the name of the product and the brand. I'm not going to put it in there because I know you all know what it is. We've got to look at these follow-up systems and make sure. So that's your activity getting off this podcast, is to really think about what is my flow? What is my follow-up system? What types of follow-up? And then go through in your mind all the clients you've seen recently, not all your clients ad nauseum forever, but the ones that pop to mind, the ones that leap into your head, and go, what would be better for them? Would it actually be better if I gave them a phone call every week? Would they be better off having weekly actual Zoom appointments with me? Would they be better? Because sometimes we can speak to people for very little time. We can have cumulative cost at the end of it, or we can have small costs going on. Like, think outside the square. How is it going to suit your client? What variation can you have to the theme that means that you get your clients in more often? And those ones who are neurodiverse often need to be seen on a more regular basis. And that's where we can do the one billing system. I'm billing you for the month of September today. I'm going to ring you once a week. We're going to have a quick chat. We're going to see how you're going. We're going to see what changes need to be made. These chats are going to be no more than 15 minutes. And then our appointment is at the beginning of October. Let's book that appointment now, and let's book these phone calls now so that I know to ring you. Easy, right? We've got that system in place. We've got that follow-up for our client in place because that client with their problems needs a weekly check-in. Remember, yes, you're a naturopath, you're a nutritionist, you're whatever it is you do, but you're a coach first and foremost, because we are coaching for change with our clients. I do have a course called Coaching for Change. Of course I have. I coach for change all the time. But this is what we need to think about. How can we change what we do to suit our clients, still within our boundaries, still within the way we work? There's often a complaint, hey, this person's emailing me all the time. Give them a regular weekly appointment that they pay for, because you've accumulated it into one cost at the beginning of the month, so they're paying in advance for that. Think about it. Don't have people hassling you. Don't have people breaking your boundaries. Work out a way that fits within your boundaries, that fits within your clients' needs, that fits within your growing business. And I'm going to leave it there. I hope you have a brilliant rest of day, and I look forward to chatting to you next time. And I think what we'll move on to, because here we are talking about the client and the system. I think next time we're going to talk about clinical wins. So please scroll down to the bottom and give me a review. I would love one. I haven't had any, as you know, new ones for a while. So I'll catch up with you soon. See ya.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.